Astroworld was a tragedy, but not why the whole thing looked like a ritual. The stage was an inverted cross. The entrance was a demonic mouth.
And these types of concerts and rituals are typically one of their favorite ways to harness your energy. Because if you have thousands upon thousands of people looking at an idol, this is why they say never idolize or worship anybody, you're feeding them their energy. And if they're working with another entity, you're feeding them.
And they removed my sound.
And you want to know what's crazy? It's still going to be people who are going to be still spiritually asleep. They're going to say that what happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival wasn't demonic. People begging him to stop the show. If you don't believe that there was nothing demonic about that whole concert, you are spiritually blind. And I pray that God open your eyes to see what's really going on in the spiritual realm. We don't fight against flesh and blood.
Execution of a failed event from the experience of a professional corporate event planner. It was also a spiritual ritual. If that sounds interesting to you, please stick around.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Secretly, money coming, this is money coming, this is money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money coming, this is.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Astroworld was a tragedy, but not why the whole thing looked like a ritual. The stage was an inverted cross. The entrance was a demonic mouth. And throughout the night, the chants just kept going and going while people literally were collapsing right there in the crowd. It's not just music, it's programming. The Bible said life and death are in the power of the tongue. So when you get thousands of people to start chanting the same dark words, moving in the same motion, all under the same beat, that's no longer entertainment, that's a ritual. Travis Scott literally stood there while his fans were screaming for help. And of course, the show went on. Why? Because that was all part of the whole thing. I'm sure he wasn't surprised at all. The world calls it an accident, but family, ain't no accident when Satan's in the mix. The chants were never songs, they were spells. Conviction over comfort. Follow me if you're into that. Shalom.
Ain't no way. There is no way all those people died that night and no one went to jail. Right. And the fact that Travis was still performing 40 minutes after people were dying literally in the crowd, that's suspicious. Now, I'll never forget this night, but what tripped me out the night about this was when Travis was looking at people literally passed out and still performing like nothing was going on. People was literally grabbing and fighting the camera crew, telling them stop the video. This is why they mad at Travis. I don't know why people defending Travis, but this is what it is. Travis was still performing while this stuff was going on. And this is why they think Travis is in on it. Because he didn't stop the show. Because 10 people dead? Come on, man. Come on, man. Because who greenlight a crowd of that size with no security? Who greenlit it? Why did the emergency response teams fail to respond? How y'all do that? Come on now. But why is Astroworld trending again right now?
Right.
3 years later. Yeah. It's because they know, bro. They know that this was a fucking ritual. And they used him to do it.
Travis Scott concert gets canceled by Egyptian authorities for strange rituals. I keep telling y'all these artists are demonic. They don't serve God. They don't serve the one true God. They literally serve Satan. You remember this interview he did with Charlemagne the God? When he said that the last thing he did at Astroworld was not demonic, it was because he served and worshipped God. See, the Bible says you will know them by their fruit. The Bible says, Jesus said, if you love me, you will obey my commandments. This man's entire lifestyle and songs is literally against everything against the Bible. Everything that the scripture says not to do. So I don't know what God he talking about, but he ain't talking about Jesus Christ. So because of the strange rituals, Egypt was like, nah, bruh, this gotta go. This gotta cancel. This is some strange ritual going on here. Probably the very similar things that was happening at his last concert when a bunch of people died. People literally said they saw demons coming out the portal. People who didn't even serve and worship God gave their life to Christ because of that.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. I have been wanting to make this video for such a long time. When I made it the first time on TikTok during 2020 when it first happened, or 2021, my entire video was muted. The sound was completely removed. I was not playing any copyrighted music in there. They just removed my voice. And I was like, okay, there's definitely something wrong. And I was talking about the ritualistic of it all. So today we're talking about the Astroworld concert by Travis Scott. And based on the information that I know, that I've picked up, that I learned, we're going to break down all of the ritualistic things that happen at the concert that lets me know that this was indeed a energy harvesting concert where there was a lot of rituals that were being performed, like sacrifice and chaotic, intense ritual of harvesting the energy of the concert goers, because it's a celestial, it's a cosmic energy exchange.
In 2021 was when TikTok banned the sound of my video about the Astroworld Travis Scott concert. I made a video talking about the spiritual aspect of what happened on that night, and they removed my sound.
And you want to know what's crazy? It's still going to be people who going to be still spiritually asleep. They're going to say that what happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival wasn't demonic. People begging him to stop the show. If you don't believe that there was nothing demonic about that whole concert, you are spiritually blind. And I pray that God open your eyes to see what's really going on in the spiritual realm. We don't fight against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Do you not see the name of the festival? Astroworld. That ought to open your eyes enough. Stay prayed up, because we're about to see crazier stuff than this.
Astroworld wasn't just a concert, it was a ritual, a spiritual event masked as entertainment. But back then, most people didn't have the eyes to see that because they were spiritually blind. Look at the symbolism. A giant portal, hellish flames, souls screaming in the crowd. Even a sign that says, "See you on the other side." When I made that video, I had people personally hit me up, and they said that they felt so much dark energy during that concert. People literally were hitting me up and DMing me, telling me that they felt like that they were being sucked into something evil. And that's because they were. And this is exactly what the Bible means when it says that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places, against principalities and powers. This was spiritual warfare disguised as a show. And if you think I'm reaching still, like a lot of people thought I was reaching back then in 2021, why did the energy feel off? Why were people literally dying while the music was still playing? And why did they try to ban this message the first time? This generation heavily needs spiritual discernment. Not everything that entertains you is innocent. Some of it is feeding your soul's poison, but calling it art. They tried to silence the truth in 2021. Let's hope they don't try to silence it now.
What I'm about to show you, trigger warning, is a video of Travis Scott singing over unconscious bodies during his performance in Astroworld. This was back in 2021. Since the resurfacing of these videos, people are now talking about his concert again, about how his concert Astroworld was literally a ritual of energy harvesting. The reason why these Astroworld videos have resurfaced is because this is a photo shoot he had with Michelle Lamy. If you don't know, she's kind of notorious for being like this background person in the occult and the elite, doing all these weird witchcraft rituals. It's such a weird photo shoot, and people are saying that in the background it looks like orbs, like the souls of the people he took in his concert in Astroworld. Now, I have posted a video about Travis Scott's concert back in 2021, but that video got taken down, so did my page, so I'm gonna have to redo this video. I will tell you why it was a spiritual ritual. First of all, see you on the other side. That is so creepy. I mean, just look at the promo he had for his concert. In occult teachings, when you go like this, when you face your palm up to the sky or you face your palm towards a person, you are giving them your energy. Now this in the middle right there, that looks like a stargate. It is literally a portal. I don't know if you've watched sci-fi movies as a kid in the early 2000s, but this type of portal or this type of stargate was so popular back then, where people would pass through it and they would enter a new world, literally the other side. This stargate or portal is actually like very thin. You would think that there's a tunnel leading somewhere. Nope, it's literally just a portal. And just look at this depiction. Copious amounts of people fainted during that concert. And so many people during that concert kept saying, this feels like hell. I don't know why I feel so disturbed. Even atheist people, people who are not even religious, who don't even give a crap about this type of stuff, said that it was so creepy and eerie. Like there was this air of death there. And if you look at here, it's even more clear that it's shaped like a portal. It has ringlets around it. Now you're probably wondering what was the point of all of this? I'll tell you the exact reason why they do these things. It is energy consumption and manifestation. I've done copious of videos on my page talking about manifesting through other people's energy. This is why a lot of voodoo, hoodoo, black magic, priestess, witches, like in those creepy Hollywood movies, they are notorious for sacrificing a chicken. That's not supposed to be a joke. You need some sort of powerful life force if you can get your hands on it. If not, then you have to settle for a chicken. Elicit so much energy because guess what? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can just be transformed or taken somewhere else. And when that abrupt release of energy gets thrown into the ethers, if you manage to capture that energy, you can use it to manifest wealth for yourself. This is why a lot of the people who rule in the shadows do exactly that. I also have a theory that Travis Scott works with some sort of entity on the other side, if you know what the other side is. It's almost like a purgatory state. It's called Phantom Matrix in spirituality. It's where all of these hellish demonic energies live. Your fallen angels, they live there as well. It's literally on the upside down of Earth. This is Earth, and this is fallen angelic realm. This is Phantom Matrix. The CIA also talked about this on their official website. It's the white hole matrix and the black hole matrix. The black hole matrix, which is Phantom Matrix, they need your energy to feed. They have no way to sustain the holy light source within themselves. And these types of concerts and rituals are typically one of their favorite ways to harness your energy. Because if you have thousands upon thousands of people looking at an idol, this is why they say never idolize or worship anybody, you're feeding them their energy. And if they're working with another entity, you're feeding that entity your energy. This whole thing was some sort of occult, esoteric thing that they were trying to do that unfortunately a lot of people had to suffer for. And if you are giving Travis Scott and any major celebrity any ounce of your energy still, you are still feeding them and they're going to get more and more powerful off of your energy. Because people like this are energy vampires. They may have had a connection to God or light source back in their days when they didn't sell their soul, but now I'm not so sure about that anymore. Because if he truly had any empathy, he would not be singing over a person that was fainting. If you're curious to learn more about the fallen angels, these vampiric systems, these occult esoteric practices, my book, Made in God's Image, goes in depth about everything you need to know. No, it is not a religious book. It talks about spirituality. Basically, it's a book about how we are connected to the eternal source and they are not. Link for book in bio.
And to back up like it was a plan, I don't even need to be doing that. It was a plan. He came out to Escape Plan, the song. Go watch the music video. He's wearing a Pearl Jam shirt in it. What happened at the Pearl Jam concert? 8 people died. What was the first big news broadcast about it? 8 people died. When really, like 12 people died. Come for me. Go do your research. I got into a huge ass rabbit hole about it. Like I will die on that. I will put it on my tombstone.
Astroworld was a sacrificial ritual. Hi, my name is Bianca. If you don't know me, I am a demonologist, I'm a tarot reader, I'm a psychic, a medium of sorts, and I'm also a professional event planner. What I'm going to talk about today in this video, the events of Astroworld, was not only a planned and deliberate execution of a failed event from the experience of a professional corporate event planner, it was also a spiritual ritual. If that sounds interesting to you, please stick around. I have an entire written full out post over on my Patreon. Please comment below for the information for that. And before I further get into this, my heart goes out to all of the victims. In no way, shape, or form is this post made to be disrespectful towards them. This is supposed to be educational and to also give a warning / PSA for concert goers and festival attendees. Now, as I said earlier, from purely a planning perspective, if any of you have taken the time to watch the recent documentary made on Netflix, where they break down the Astroworld tragedy and go very, very much in depth from the lens and perspective of a professional, they had two different crowd safety experts review the film, and one of them was in the film talking about his experience and things like that. You will see and know that Astroworld should have never taken place the way that it did. It should have never been approved. From an event planning perspective, it was a hot fucking mess that is very, 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 very infrequently seen within the industry, because normally it wouldn't have even moved forward from a planning perspective. Proposals and paperwork has to get approved by the local government, the city, the local DMC, things of that nature. The paperwork and the documentation wouldn't have ever been signed off in the first place from the second they said, oh, we would like to sell 50,000 tickets for a venue that can only host 35,000 people. That just is not a thing. It doesn't happen. Now, from the energetic spiritual perspective, what most of you may not know is that at all of these concerts you're going to for these big rock artists, punk rock, metal artists, these rap artists, anybody who's like, oh, we love to rage, we love to have a mosh pit. Yeah, the reason for that is because they're siphoning and stealing your energy. What is taking place at these mass concerts, from the very, very dark graphic concepts, from the encouragement of violence and chaos, from the fire that they'll use, the deliberate lighting that they use, it's normally very red and very, ties to demonic forces or things of that nature. All of that is extremely deliberate because it is part of the ritual that is going on to steal your energy. Now, I'm going to say everything pretty much in this video that I'm talking about is alleged as the court case that followed with the Astroworld incident. Nobody was criminally found responsible for the concert and things like that, and there were settlements made to the victims. And from a spiritual perspective, this is all alleged. But I do not believe that the intention at Astroworld was to have people pass away, as the intent normally for these types of rituals is literally just to drain and suck the energy out of the attendees, out of the fans, in order to fuel and power the mass ritual taking place to bring these celebrities wealth, fame, and money. So again, this is just a PSA for anybody who likes to attend concerts, attend festivals like EDC, like Rolling Loud, anything of that nature. Maybe think twice or have a lot of protections placed upon you if you do go. Again, if you would like to know my full entire take and breakdown, I wrote an entire blog post over my Patreon about it. I will leave the link below in the comments to this Patreon post if you would like to join and view it. But yeah, leave your comments down below. And again, my heart goes out to all of the Astroworld victims. This was a tragedy that was entirely avoidable, and I just feel saddened and sickened for the victims. You did not deserve to lose your life over wanting to go to a concert.
So this entire concert was basically covered in esoteric information, clues, symbols, and everything. So let's get started with the whole astral world and the breakdown of everything and how it all ties together, right? So we'll start off with the name astral world. So astral equals stars, celestial beyond earth. If the very name sets the stage of cosmic symbolism, a world where the performer embodies the energy of stars in the crowd and enters his universe. So Travis Scott's world, basically he embodies a star and the crowd orbits around him as yeah. So anyways, now the stage. The stage was designed with a portal, fairy visuals and apocalyptic tone. A giant open mouth was used in the stage entry, symbolizing the mouth of hell, right? Based on the information that we talk about celebrities and the concerts being almost like infernal, all of that. So go ahead and check out the other videos if you have not seen them yet, because this will make much more sense, or you can watch it after. Anyways, so it says the flame, red lights, and chaotic visuals create the infernal energy. The stars above Travis Scott The pit below, the crowd presses together, suffering, right? This directly mirrors the heaven and hell polarity. So as above, so below type stuff, right? We discuss elevated stars shining down, massive sufferings below. Harnessing of the energy and, using chaos to create order and chaos, basically, right? He's calm and there's chaos underneath. The people are suffering, meanwhile he's calm, and he's getting his performance, he's getting his visuals that he already planned to get based on the concerts, based on all the things that were planned, on how everything must turn out, so all of that. The crowd as sacrifice. In occult, esoteric terms, mass energy gathering and worship is Lust, spiritual energy harvesting straight through energy, especially fear, desire, or suffering. So what was exactly happening? People were going through, fear, desire, suffering. All of this was happening all at once at this said concert. And I've talked about this before, but just like the other young man says, my video was actually muted, saying that it goes against the guidelines of TikTok. So that is the reason why I'm making another one, since now it is viral again. So let's cover all of this. And by then, I didn't even have my YouTube channel then. I don't think I did. So yeah, no, I never did. So this is the perfect time for me to talk about this, because I've been wanting to talk about this whole music and how everything is planned and everything is symbolic, everything is esoteric, and it's there for a purpose. Nothing is by accident when celebrities and or put in movies, whatever it is that's put in movies, TV shows, books, all of this, nothing is there by accident. Okay, now at Astroworld, instead of joy and release, the crowd descended into panic, suffocation, and death, right? Because we knew a lot of people lost their life. The energy of worship becomes energy of sacrifice. People collapse, pass through, screaming for help, while music continues. Performing a concert, celebrations, into a ritual of chaos and offering. So it's basically order and chaos and offering. The role of the star, Travis Scott, this is all alleged, okay? Because I was not there, and I just want to preface this by saying this is all alleged. We're just going to basically give out the information that we see clearly with our own two eyes. But because they have not confirmed none of this, we have to say allegedly. So allegedly. Okay, so Travis Scott, as the star, stood elevated while chaos erupted below. Symbolically, this is the distance, stars shining while planets below burns. Many notice how he continues performing as people scream. Esoterically, this is the separations of God and worshippers. Yeah. That is the reason why a lot of celebrities, like the Kardashians, call y'all weirdos. Their children will get on camera and say, hey, weirdos, because that's how they look at us, as weirdos. Meanwhile, we're the one making them millions of dollars. They look at us as weirdos because they don't understand how people don't know the esoteric knowledge of energy exchange. Yeah. So anyways, don't beat yourself up for not knowing. That is the reason why you're here and you're learning. Okay. So anyways, symbolically, this is a distance star shines while planet many notice how okay, so he stood there, and we are the separation between gods and worshippers. Stars do not come down to the pit. They look down, detach, radiate, while the masses sacrifice themselves. Remind you of something, the government and everything that's happening in the world with war and hunger and all that stuff, right? Meanwhile, you have people who have money that could literally feed the entire world, but they choose not to do that because the world does not run on morals. And I will talk about that in another video, because somebody said something in my video about when I made a comment about the world does not care whether or not you're a moral person, you have a good heart. Because if that was the case, if it did care, people who are poor who have a good heart would be rich, and the rich people who are negative would be poor, right? But that's not the case. That's not how the world works. It works off of vibration. Okay, so the esoteric polarity of parallels. Okay, ancient rituals often require offering of life force, sometimes blood sacrifices, to empower gods or cosmic beings. and they already consider themselves as cosmic beings, and we put them in that pedestal as cosmic beings. So yeah, at Astroworld, what should have been a symbolic ritual, a concert where energy flow between performers and fans turned literal. Lives were lost, and the energy of tragedy fed the moment. This is why so many describe this event as feeling demonic or ritualistic. It is the archetype of worship gone wrong. Churches too. Spiritual breakdown. The star Travis Scott elevated body embody the role of celestial beings. The pit. Audience below presses into hellfire, chaos, sacrificing, or suffocation, screaming. The ritual. Light, flame, portal, imagery, symbolic gateway. The sacrifice. The energy of crowds transmuted from joy to suffering, actual death, ultimate offering. Okay. The ritual. A global moment remembered not for music, but for dark initiation into what happened when cosmic worship collapsed into destructions. So yes, the esoteric lesson, the Astroworld tragedy exposed the danger of celebrity as star worships when the energy of the masses is not protected, guarded, or respected. Instead of being uplifted, the crowd was consumed. Yes. In the metaphysical term, this was an inversion of divine order. Stars are meant to inspire and reflect light. The crowd is meant to receive and rise. That is the reason why I said in the previous video, if you're clearly getting something out of the celebrity, being entertained. They're here to entertain you and take your money. You are here to give them your money and be entertained so you can escape your everyday life. That's really what it is, if you're really going to really talk about it, right? So when it comes to all of that, it's like a perfect energy exchange, but a lot of times things does not go as planned, and or they do go as planned, and things like this happen, and people start to try to wake up to see, hey, there's something a little bit darker than what meets the eye. This is not just entertainment, but we should probably stop and think twice about what it is that we are consuming on a daily basis, because a lot of people like to turn their eyes the other way. As long as it doesn't say witchcraft or voodoo on it, it's okay, right? Especially Christians, they're okay with it as long as it doesn't have anything that's cussing and or it doesn't say anything about witchcraft. But the whole time you're participating, and that is one reason why they used to say back in the days, don't listen to secular music, because some of them actually do know the reason, but they never tell you why you shouldn't listen to secular music. They never tell you why you shouldn't go to that Michael Jackson concert. They never tell you why you shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. But they kind of sort of do know that it does affect you one way or another. It does affect you, the frequency that's being put out, the music that you're listening to. Those are chants, those are spells, those are affirmations that you're repeating. So you, instead of choosing the bad one, choose a good one so it can affect your life in a better way, because either way it's going to affect your life whether you like it or not. So choose the right one that's going to affect you the best.
So let's talk about this Travis Scott concert. You don't have to be living under a rock to know what happened with this. Travis threw an Astroworld concert, right? There was hundreds of fans that came. They rushed the barriers and a couple people died. Police had quote, the event was understaffed and that promoters didn't have an efficient plan. So I'm just gonna drop a couple videos and a little photos so you guys see what I'm talking about. So tell me what this looks like to you guys. To me, it looks like gold. And I know you guys see a little, I don't know if that's a phoenix or a dragon or whatever it is, but that's also there. And if you pay attention to the text right in the middle, it says see you on the other side. It's giving very much dragging souls to hell. From what I remember, 8 people passed away. During the concert, fans were literally screaming and yelling for help and for Travis to stop. And the whole time, this dude was literally just standing there humming. So if you listen very carefully, you hear him humming, and then you also hear the people in the crowd. And then he had the nerve to give this bullshit apology. Literally just the thought of him, oh my God, Bro, the thought of him standing on the stage, just humming like that while people are in the crowd as if they're being tormented in hell and a demon is on. Oh my god. But y'all know how these rituals work and these sacrifices work, and every time something new happens, it eventually dies down and you don't hear about it anymore. What do you guys think about this topic? It's very interesting to me. I just had a whole epiphany. I'm gonna down your opinion to this because this is some mess.
Bro, the amount of people that I'm seeing talking about Astroworld and not having a fucking clue what they're talking about is just mind-blowing. I'm seeing niggas talking about he could have stopped the show. Oh my, bro, watch the fucking documentary, bro. Niggas at Live Nation told him that it was okay and that they had everything under control, even though people at Live Nation knew that at least one person was dead. And another reason why they did not tell Travis to stop the show, because if they had told Travis to stop the show because people were dying in the crowd, then more people would have gotten riled up, people would have started panicking, and just crazier shit would have happened. In my opinion, that's a dumbass fucking excuse from Live Nation, but that shows that they fucking neglected Travis Scott on information that he didn't know. They gave him the okay to keep going. And I understand a lot of people are still gonna blame Travis because yes, it's his festival, it's his thing, but that's the reason why you have production during things.
No, but has anybody else been binge watching Astroworld Travis Scott content for like the past week or so? Because I have found that within this past week, I saw the documentary last Thursday and today is Monday. I am still thinking about and like watching stuff online. Like, obviously, I remember when it happened, I was living in Dallas at the time. So I remember the news coming in and a lot of my TikTok videos were about what was happening at the concert. But it kind of got pushed aside pretty quickly. It felt like it was kind of swept under the rug. Maybe a couple of days it was covered on the news and then it's like next. But because the documentary just came out, people are now talking about it again. My FYP is filled with it. And I know other people are experiencing the same thing, where I feel like collectively we're all kind of feeling this sadness. At least we like re-experience it. But like what's boggling me, well, there's several things. One is I don't believe there was only 10 people. Watching all of the videos and like again doing all my deep dives, when you see clips, and I've been watching a lot, there definitely seems to be more bodies piled up than what they're saying, which of course they're not going to show this because I don't think people would be able to kind of take that information. That's one. Secondly is if I'm experiencing this just from watching it on my phone and like the documentaries on my TV and content, I cannot imagine the people that survived, the good people that survived, the ones that were helping others, like the guilt of surviving that, how they must be feeling. So my prayers go out to those that have survived traumatic experiences because I'm here like feeling all these feelings and I wasn't even there. So really get help if you...
Bro, Marilyn Monroe had a demon. Only demons can manipulate energy the way she did. You remember when they were walking on the street with an interviewer, no one around them, and then boom, she says, do you want to see her? And then hundreds of people come out of nowhere to come see her and get her autograph and all that good stuff. Bro, demons, when they're used to praise for thousands of years, command that praise energy. I'm talking for thousands of years, that's all they know, right? So when they enter your body, how you got all these other artists, you got Beyonce with Sasha Fierce, allegedly, this for entertainment purposes, they command the energy because that's all they know. They know humans supposed to serve me. They supposed to bow down to me. So then, boom, they enter your body, bro. They change the atmosphere around them.
To you.
This man said Marilyn Monroe has a demon. A demon is crazy, but let's talk about it. Now I got the part where he was basically saying about the whole, the celebrities does have an alter ego that they tap into, which in some cases could be considered their dark feminine and or their light feminine, but I will explain this later. So let's talk about the whole Marilyn Monroe, the scene where she was like, oh, you want to see her? You want to see her in action? And then she like snaps her finger, basically. She like started, you know, she awakens the goddess in her and activate the superstar quality within her, and that's why he was considered as a demon. And I did mention this before in another video, where Marilyn Monroe was actually working with a black woman that was her best friend, that was her close friend, and she basically told a theater where she was going to perform that she wouldn't perform unless they allow her friend to come to the theater, because at the time it was like black and white, you know, oh, you cannot come, even though the friend was performing, but she was not allowed to actually sit through and watch other performers, and she had to go through like the back door. So Marilyn Monroe, when she was offered to perform there, she was like, no, I'm not performing unless my friend gets to be in the audience or something like that, and or sit at the front or get to perform at the said place, right? It was a whole situation, but she has a black woman who was her very, very good friend, and I would be surprised if she actually learned some tip from the black woman, or even learn the different herbs that can sway people's energy, and or, you know, like Jezebel root oils, you know, attraction oils, and all those other things, and those are real things. So I have a book that basically tells you about Anna Baker, Josephine Baker, no, Anna, what's her name, Josephine Baker, and Eartha Kitt. A lot of them actually use different oils and stuff allegedly on their bodies to sway the energy of the people when they do perform. And even nowadays, a lot of celebrities actually do a lot of cloaking magic, glamour magic, so they can appear more beautiful. So, you know, their fan base can, I don't know, buy their makeup or whatever. But they do it for reasons, right? The Kardashians do it at the clothing magic to basically appear a lot more beautiful than they actually are. Don't forget editing, you know, all these other technologies that people have to like fade things, you know, parts that you don't want. How do you call this? Photoshop things now is now considered Photoshop, but back in the days it was something different. It was like, hey, you turn on the charm. And in my opinion, with the whole Marilyn Monroe situation, she turned on that charm that allowed her to be Marilyn Monroe. I wouldn't consider that to be demon or demonic, but she did what she had to do to turn it on, which and nowadays could be considered as method acting. Now method acting, yes, a lot of times they step into the role and they don't know how to step out, but she knows how to step out and be Norma Jean, and then step in and be Marilyn Monroe, and she turn it on, you know. Just like Kim Kardashians, the Kardashians, I don't expect them to be walking around as the Kardashians 24/7. They become moms, sisters, daughters, whatever. But then when they are on camera, they turn it on, just like whoever is in front of camera. They don't just walk around with that persona, right? You would hope that they are not as far different in real life, because you want them to be more authentic on camera. Yes, that's true, and you would hope that everybody does that, but also there's this switch that you turn on so you can present yourself as this person who is camera ready, camera this, because you have to turn it on, right? Like, for example, when I'm making my videos, I'm already speaking as though a million people are watching this video, because once I upload it, that's what it's going to feel like. Millions of people will be watching this video, so I turn it on. Because not all the time I feel good enough to come in front of the camera and make a video, but because it's part of my job, I go ahead and turn it on and start recording. So for example, my perfect example of how I can continue to record on a daily basis and feel motivated is I will do a face full of makeup. Like, I would get myself ready in the morning just so I can be more productive. So whenever I get myself ready, and I learned that from a YouTuber, the way before I started my YouTube channel, that was one thing that I learned, is that if you get yourself ready and you dress up and you do your makeup and all that stuff, just like if you were to work from home, you don't want to be, you know, still in your pajamas trying to work from home, even though it's a call center, like you calling, it's just making phone calls, people are not seeing your face. You just feel better when you are in regular clothes. You take a shower, dress up, maybe do your makeup or whatever. You are more productive, and I feel that this is the best way for me to do that. But once I put all that on, I'm literally turning that persona on. Like, I'm turning I call her Madame Mirage or Josephine. I actually have a book. It's called the character is Josephine. But what you're getting here is almost like 50%, or if not 80% of my true personality. But that extra percentage, I have to turn it on, because I know at the end of the day, I'm not, you know, an audience who'll be watching me. So with Marilyn Monroe, let's go back to her. She turned on that persona who makes her Marilyn Monroe instead of Norma Jean. So when she says, hey, you want to see it, she turned that on and everyone starts to see it. But when we're talking about celebrities also, because he was saying, oh, she's demonic because the people started worshiping her, and demons have people worshiping them. I don't even know how that correlates with demonic and all of that, but let me show you exactly what it means to be a star. You know how I mentioned like celebrities or superstars basically know that they are stars, and they know that the people who are adoring them and worshiping them and watching them, you might not worship them, but that's the concept of being a star, is they are above you and they look down at you. That is the reason when you are in concert, right, you are beneath. So it kind of look like hell, right? Because if they show you like with the red light and they show you everybody dancing, waving their hands in the air, it looks like people are in hell and they're fighting to get out. They're basically raising their hands. Have you ever seen the image of like showing hell where they're like in the lake of fire and people are literally, their hands are reaching and trying to get out? If you picture a concert, celebrities are looking down at you because they are the stars. So let's get that situation. Now I want you to hear this part and what ChatGPT had to say about the actual celebrity as stars. The word celebrity comes from celebration, and their entire existence is tied to ritualistic intentions, right? Talk about this all the time. We call them stars because just like the stars in the sky, they are distant, luminous, admired, and unattainable, right? Stars guide navigations in the night. Stars guide navigations in the night. Celebrities guide trends, tastes, even lifestyles, right? That's true. They literally affect us on a daily basis. That's what they're here for. Spiritually, a star is a symbol of divinity, destiny, and fate. When people call celebrities stars, they consciously place them in a heavenly archetype, higher than the ordinary human, right? So if you're going to call her a demon for activating the power within her that we give her, you know, let's just tell the whole truth, because if we're going to call her that, maybe she is. Maybe it's because we have given them that power. Just like a demon, you have given the demon the power. Just like Jesus, you give Jesus the power and the name, because so many people are worshiping and talking about him and, you know, giving him the power, giving the energy. So it says the hellfire pit of crowds. So let's talk about the concert part when it comes to that. In concerts, the audience is usually in a pit or stadium bowl below the stage. Y'all remember the Travis Scott concert? We'll get that clip in there as well so you can see the whole thing. It's all ritualistic. Everything about like celebrity and all that stuff is all ritualistic. It's all done for a purpose. Nothing is made by accident. That is why it's called a stage, and it's here to basically entertain you, but also there's a deeper meaning behind it. So symbolically, it mirrors heaven versus hell imagery. The performance stars are elevated, shining down with light, while the crowd look up at them in awe. The intense light, heat, and fire effect often mimic infernal energy. Y'all remember Travis Scott concert? Infernal energy, where people were saying they felt like they were in hell, right? So all of this, we're all being participated in all of this at the same time. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you do know, you can be aware, right? Not saying it's demonic or anything like that, but it's good to be aware of what you're participating in, because you're literally vowing to certain things that you don't even know. Vows, votes, all of that. All right, so the intense light, heat, and fire effects often mimic infernal energy. People screaming, sweat, cry, and move in chaotic waves, right? Like souls reaching for upward for salvation or recognition, just like in church and all that stuff. Let's get into the next part because I'm running out of time. People scream, sweat, cry, and move in chaotic waves like soul reaching upward for salvation and recognition. This is why you feel the hellish energy at concerts. The masses below equal earth, hell, and the performance above equals stars, heaven, right? All right, so now the stage as an altar. So basically whenever they perform, and you might not look at it as that, but a stage is basically an altar, you know. So it says a stage is not just wood and light, it's an altar of energy exchange. I've talked about this before, where they harvest the energy of the concert goers, you know, the music listeners and all that stuff based on what the music is all about. They are doing an energy exchange, and that is the reason why they do perform. They perform rituals before releasing a song, and or release songs on a specific day or specific planetary alignment, because it boosts the energy, and also they repeat things over and over and over and over again, so you can keep it in your brain, which is repetition. When we repeat things multiple times, don't come for me. English not my fourth language, is my fourth. Anyways, yeah. So basically, performer stands above because in metaphysical traditions, the priestess, or sacrifice is always elevated on an altar. The light shining down mimic the ray of celestial bodies, stars, sun, and moon. The crowd is the congregation, offering attention, energy, money, and even their voice in chants. This is a worship, like a church or a concert or whatever you might see it as. But yeah, it's all tied in, I'm telling you. So it says, why the looking down dynamic matters, right? When people is physically elevated, psychologically and spiritually automatically assign them authority, right? Because of the standing. So have you ever noticed, like, kings and queens, they always sit up at a little bit of a higher level than the people who are presenting offerings and or gifts to this said prince, or they're standing on a pedestal. That's why they have a pedestal. Put yourself on a pedestal, because naturally you are elevated and you are at a different level than the person that you are considering to be better than, right? And not necessarily because you are, but because of what it naturally subconsciously sends out as a message. It basically sends out, hey, I am at a pedestal and I'm higher than you level, you know, in the level, so therefore I deserve this amount of respect. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, when someone is physically elevated, psychologically or spiritually automatically assign them authority. Think of popes and churches, thrones on platforms, kings and queens on risen seats, always above, looking down. This isn't just symbolic, it transforms energy upward. The many projects their admirations, desires, and energy unto the one who rises above. In return, the star reflects light back down to them through performance, inspirations, and glamour. Stars above, people below. On a cosmic level, stars in the sky shine down while people look up at it. The metaphysical mirror, celebrities on stage shine down with spotlight beam while audience worship their gaze. It's not just entertaining, it's reenactment of human relationship cosmic to the cosmos. So it's basically how the world is. Basically, they believe that they were created to do this and to be this said person. That is the reason they step into this, they embody this. And because the people like them, we the people like them, we give them the energy to be in this position that they're in. That is why whenever I see people saying, oh, you know, why is this person so famous? They have no talent. Well, you made them talented. You even though they had no talent, you put them in this pedestal, you put them in this position, and without the people who are looking up at them and giving them the glory and honor, they are nothing, you know. So once people start to realize that you're the one that created those stars, and when they start acting up and acting as if they're better than you, like, you know, the Doja Cats of the world. I used to love Doja Cat. I mean, I know every single one of her songs, but she's starting to act a little like, hey, her fans are nobody. Although I didn't consider myself as her fan, I do like her work. I try to separate the person with the art. So just like someone had mentioned before that I should not listen to Shira 7, I was like, I love Shira 7. I mean, she has some great ideas, some great, she is someone that I would love to trade places with. Not necessarily, but I listen to people, I take advice from people that I know I can learn something from, that I'm willing to trade places with if need be type stuff. So therefore, in my opinion, I love the things that she said, and I know it's because they found out that she was a witch or she was doing this and that. In my opinion, she's all love. Like, her energy, her frequency runs on love, and she doesn't judge people based on what they do. She doesn't judge, she basically, as long as you're not harming anyone, you're doing what make you happy. That's all it is, and that's what she's doing. Yes, she is in the metaphysical. She does tap into her spiritual very, 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 very strong. She has a YouTube channel. It's called Shira Star Goddess, and I've watched her. And she also have the Shira 7 channel, which I also loved. And I told the person in the comment section, hey, take what you feel is important and leave the rest, because not everything that person says is for you to take. It's not, everything's not for you. So you take, just like if you were to watch a tarot reading and you're like, this doesn't resonate, that doesn't resonate, but this does. So therefore you take what resonates and leave the rest. So in my opinion, when we look at superstars, you can learn so much from them, not necessarily because everything they're doing is good, but they live in a world where it's balanced, right? They do a bunch of bad and then they do a little bit of good, although like they claim that in taxes, to them it balance out their karma, because they don't believe in, how would I say, they don't believe that the world runs off of laws. It doesn't run off of morals. So that's why they runs off of morals. Just because the celebrities tap into celestial energy to make themselves who they are, and they believe that they are this star who is on a pedestal, it doesn't mean that they believe that they're bad people. They believe that you guys put them up in that pedestal, so they're going to use it and do what it is that is going to benefit them, to keep them on that pedestal, and they're benefiting off of it, and you're also benefiting off of it in a way, because you are being entertained. Whatever it is, whoever it is that you love as a celebrity, they are entertaining you one way or another, because I don't understand why you would continue to listen to someone and or watch news about them if you weren't getting something out of it, because to me that would just be crazy, right? Obviously it's doing something for you. So that is the reason why people watch the YouTube channels that they watch. That is the reason why they listen to the music that they listen to. That is the reason why they do the certain things that they do, because they're getting something out of it one way or another. It might not be good, but it make you feel good at the time. So with Marilyn Monroe, like, what she is doing is she's basically doing what all celebrities do. They tap into their power, they tap into their birth charts and see where it is that they're supposed to be in life, what is their purpose in this life, and they use the energy of the people to get where they want to be by putting themselves out there. And if people like them, the right people will find them, and that's usually how a lot of celebrities tap into that energy and continue on with it. So in my opinion, if we're going to demonize these people, then we need to stop putting them on a pedestal, because at the end of the day, everything is energy. The world runs on magic, and no matter what it is that you're doing, you are participating one way or another. So if you don't agree with it, then you need to learn more about it and what is basically affecting your energy or not, so you can stay away from it. By him saying that she has a demon in her because she was able to activate her feminine archetype, or her dark feminine energy, or her light feminine, whatever you look at it, however you look at it, she just knows her power and she taps into that power, just like a lot of celebrities know their power, so they tap into it. That is the reason why they can sell you a candle that they say it's made with their bath water, and it'll be sold out of nowhere, versus someone who is down the street, who you've known, that grew up with you, that has a little business. You wouldn't support them, but you support the celebrity who you don't even know, because you have this parasocial relationship with the said celebrity. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it makes sense to you. Talk to you later. Bye. Love. Hey guys, I'm Jenny, and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book, with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teach you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to sender. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.